Goddard showed a knowing smile on her attractive matronly face as she informed her, "Barnabas is back." Carolyn paused over her soup dish. "Really?" She was at once pleasantly excited, for Barnabas always brought a sense of the glamorous outside world to the quiet Maine estate, and he was her favorite among her relatives. "He and his manservant Hare have moved into the old house as usual," her mother said, "and he'll be coming over here after a little." Carolyn asked eagerly, "Will he be staying long?" Her mother sighed. "He didn't say. You know what Barnabas is like. I'm sure he enjoys being mysterious." "I call him interesting," Carolyn corrected her quietly as she returned to her soup. "Well, mysterious or interesting, he never tells me his plans. But he'll be here for a few days at least. I told him Amy and David were off to Vermont with Mrs. French and her children for a holiday, but he didn't seem disappointed. I think the only one he cares about is you. You always have been his favorite." Carolyn blushed. "I'm older and better able to talk to him." "He liked you even as a child," Elizabeth said, "and you always turned to him. I'm sure this has annoyed your Uncle Roger." "But Uncle Roger is so stuffy. He has no true understanding of younger people. Barnabas talks to me as if I were his own age. Uncle Roger treats me like a child." Elizabeth smiled. "Well, you're certainly no longer that. And I'm sure Barnabas appreciates you for the grown-up young lady you've become. He was asking about your college plans." "Oh, did you tell him I haven't decided on anything yet? That I might like to become a nurse?" "I mentioned that," her mother said. "Barnabas seemed to think it would be a good career for you." "I must talk to him about it," she said. Later, when Barnabas had appeared out of the gathering shadows of dusk, they had spoken. She and the handsome man had strolled along the path that followed the cliffs and discussed things both new and old. For no one had the history of the 2 centuries old estate of Collinwood more at his command than Barnabas. It was well known that he had been working on a history of the family for years. Many times he had fascinated Carolyn with his exciting tales of the early days of the Collins forebears. Who better than he was familiar with the dark secrets of the shadowed, silent rooms of Collinwood? The strange events that had happened there over the years had all been recorded in his notebooks. He had thrilled her with his account of Jeremiah Collins, who had long ago built the sprawling mansion with its tall, dark chimneys, streaking like ghostly arms to the sky. His account of Jeremiah's marriage and the deep sorrow he'd known when his French wife, Josette, died, when she'd plunged from Widow's Hill, had always touched her. Through the centuries, others had plunged to their death from that same spot, as if directed to the lonely cliff above the angry breakers by a phantom hand. Another story that had grimly held her attention was the account of the first Barnabas Collins, ancestor to this present holder of the name, who had been driven from the estate under a dark shadow. It was with that long-ago Barnabas that the first whisperings of the many ghostly legends concerning Collinwood had begun, and over the years the belief that Collinwood was an eerie setting for phantoms of the night had gained credence, especially among the people of the village of Collinsport. It was these villagers of an early day who had first accused the first Barnabas Collins of being a vampire, one of the living dead who appeared only in the dark hours and attacked pretty young girls to feast on their blood. This need for a regular supply of human blood made the vampire emerge from his daytime coffin sleep and stalk the night shadows. The ire of the villagers became great after a number of their daughters were found wandering in a dazed state, with weird red marks on their throats, the mark of the vampire's fangs. Because that first Barnabas was rumored to have been cursed by a dark beauty from the West Indies, whose affections he'd spurned, they thought he was a vampire. The villagers believed the jealous young woman had invoked a voodoo curse on the unfortunate man, and turned him into a zombie. In any event, suspicion of him had grown to the point where he'd been forced to leave the isolated Maine coastal village and journey across